a little hazy. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon on this pleasant June day. This is the Northwest San Pedro Community Issues Meeting commencing at 5:03 p.m. on June 28th. Our co-host and cohort, John Barbera, will be here shortly. I'm Dan Dixon. And we have a quorum at the moment, I believe, although Vic, if you want to take the roll and verify that, that'd be great.
Okay, Dan Dixon.
Here.
Chuck Hart.
Yes.
John DeMiglio.
Here.
Vic Christensen is here. John Barbera and David Rivera are not here yet. So that is 4 out of 6. We have a quorum.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Very good. And I have a
there's
John
John.
Barbera.
So 5
Close
out
to a
of 6.
full house. Close to a full house.
Hey, everyone. Hi, April.
Hi, John. Very good. And I have a 42-pound terrier leaning against me. So if I disappear from the screen, it's because I've been knocked flat. He's okay for the moment, but that could change. Well, let's begin tonight with a pleasant topic. Not many of them are pleasant topics. This is particularly pleasant because it's about progress in our neighborhood. John, do you want to introduce April?
I'd like to, but we're in June.
What did I say?
I believe there's public comment first.
I know,
Oh,
that's
right.
what I was getting ready to say.
All right. I'll back off. John, you can take over if you want. Beginning with public comment. Do we see any hands for public comment on non-agendized items?
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Hello, Sterlina.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, Northwest San Pedro community members. Thank you for having me on here. My name is Sterlina Cerritos, and I am here as the PR director for West Cal Academy. We are a 501c3 community-based organization that specializes in personalized career mentoring for people of all ages and backgrounds. This announcement is a friendly reminder to the community that everyone is invited to our free local West Cal Career Pathway event at the historical arcade building on 6th Street, right across from the Warner Grand Theater. It's going to be on June 30th, which is coming right up, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This event is sponsored by the Central San Pedro Neighborhood Council, and we're going to be promoting careers in the maritime industry, and this will be a great opportunity for members of the community and beyond to explore careers on either sea or shore. This event is family friendly and a great opportunity to explore as well the beautiful area on 6th Street. Much more information can be found on our website, westcalacademy.com, as well as our social media channels. That's right. So the event is, RSVP is strongly encouraged. The Eventbrite link can be easily found on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and there will be free snacks and refreshments. So for any questions, you can email us at info@westcalacademy.com, or you can call our office number at 310-894-6814. I've also posted this event on various Facebook community pages for the San Pedro area. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sterlina. Glad to have you with us. Appreciate the information. Any other public comment? Vic Christensen, your hand up, sir.
Just as an addition to that, we have posted the flyer for this event on our neighborhood council homepage too.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Thanks again, Sterlina. And there's Chuck. I see you in your shaft of light there, sir. Good to see you. Very good. Seeing no further hands, I don't think.
I don't see it either.
Good. Oh, okay, good. Let us move on then. And now, John Barbera, if you'd be kind enough to introduce April to us. Thank you.
Well, we have April Jones from the Skate Park Association here to give us an update and some photos of stuff. And she'll keep, which is getting very, very close. They're waiting on the okay, the blessings. And so let's let April just take it away and go for it.
Hi, thank you. Let me share my screen really quick. Oh, host disabled, participant screen sharing. Let's see.
Nick, can you let her share a screen?
Yep, I don't have screen access. Sorry, guys.
Try it now.
Okay. Okay, here we go. All righty. All right, can everyone see this? Can see your
Yes.
screen.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for the introduction, John. We have one more inspection to pass from Department of Building and Safety. We have called this week, so we're waiting for them to call us back to schedule that. So that's pretty exciting. This is what is in the works. We have this outside wall that's highly visible from the street. We have this artist right here who painted the shipping containers, which is basically our storage and office at the skate park. So the plan is to paint Channel Street across this entire wall. So Channel Street Skate Park, whatever will fit basically, but it'll be bright and cheery. So it'll be nice to see while driving by. It'll bring some brightness to the area. And let's see. So we have this back pillar right here. And the construction has actually been done. So this is kind of a pre-construction photo. We have a professional artist, Tate, who has this space border. It's kind of one of his characters. And he's going to kind of crop it in a little bit, but do this entire back pillar. And then in the reflection of the helmet is going to be like the early days of the skate park, which is going to be really cool because they have some old photos of the early Channel Street Skate Park days. So this definitely look better. And so this guy, just a quick history, he does giant skyscraper buildings downtown LA. He does like 30, 40 like story art for businesses and corporations. So he's very well known and professional at this. So we're excited to have him. There's also this area. Ignore the kind of crappy clip art on the side, but the idea is to paint the front of a ship right here. And the guys have a giant anchor that they're going to install in front of it. So, the front view of a ship with this anchor will kind of, be dedicated to like the port and everything Pedro stands for, which is super cool. So I just kind of put these clip art pieces here for reference, but the artist is actually drawing an example at the moment. So we'll have that next week, like the drawing, and go back and forth. And then, we want to kind of brighten up the plants along this fence here too. That'll be super cool and just kind of inviting. And again, this is a high visibility area, so it'll look really good after it's all said and done. And since these are professional artists and I'm a visual storyteller, we will be conducting interviews on what it takes to do a large scale mural like this, from conception to delivery, like what type of paint, what supplies, like the safety. So we hope to share this with, schools, art classes or whoever, but basically to gather this information So we can share it with the community. So this is the plan moving forward. And basically, I put part 1 because we have a lot more plans for the future. And that's pretty much it.
Good.
And I'll stop sharing now. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, April.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments for April? I actually have one question, April, if I may. The proposed graphic for the long wall along the tracks, is that, I don't know who controls that property, if that's part of the skate park or whatever, but have you talked to the port about that big graphic being put up on the wall?
Absolutely. That wall is actually part of the skate park. We've already spoke with them about it. We're
Okay.
just not allowed to remove the fence. So yeah,
That's probably good.
yeah.
Okay.
And so that was kind of the idea of to have big letters, because we can't do like detailed art because the fence is there. But part number 2 will be the pillars that hold up the freeway, which we're in getting permission. We're talking with the state about that, but that's part 2 for later. So yeah, we're good to go. We have clearances on all of the areas, but thanks for checking.
Great. Well, you're dealing with some impressive bureaucracies. So I'm very pleased that you've stuck it out and are making your way forward with them. It's great.
Yeah,
Great.
it's really amazing. They have our backs, and we're very grateful for everyone. So thank
Good.
you.
Other questions, hands? Seeing none.
Yeah, I have one.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Chuck, go right ahead.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. You know, I have a law enforcement background, 35 years. I've watched the youth get high on marijuana and then graduate to other things. And I've been involved in traffic accidents where people on high crash and get seriously injured. And I want to know why you and the concerned people aren't more concerned about the illegal, which they say is legal, but it isn't, because it's within 700 feet of the skate park. Why wasn't that stopped from going in? Why didn't someone do something about shutting down that pot shop that's opened up within 700 feet of that skate park?
Well, I have an answer. The 700-foot rule applies to designated recreation areas, among other things. At this point, that the skate park is not yet it's a public space, but it's not a designated recreation and park facility. It presumably will be at some point in some fashion. That's one thing. The other consideration is that it's a different department in the city, and the cannabis stores are legal. The question is how many of them are legal, and that facility on Yaffe, I assume, is in its final approach to opening. I may be wrong. It might be open already for all I know, but that's definitely a city controlled activity. And as far as I'm concerned, the city's responsible for maintaining proper licensing and safety of these facilities. That's all I have to offer right now.
Those are all excuses, not reasons. They're excuses for opening up because you didn't stop it. They're excuses. They're going to be civil lawsuits against that. I haven't seen a documentation that says it has to be a city park. I didn't see that anywhere. But you know, pardon me for bloviating, but I just seen too much death and destruction of our youth, and to even consider the fact that there won't be pot used over there by these poor kids. that are gonna be jeopardizing their safety by doing crazy things they're not supposed to be doing because they're high? Is there gonna be someone like a police officer there to say, okay, you're high, you can't skate today? You gonna have security in any way over there? I doubt it. I mean, no one seems to care about our youth anymore. I'm sorry. Thanks for letting me blow off steam, but those are all excuses. The city sucks. They should have stopped this. They could have stopped it if they wanted to.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thanks for letting me blow off steam.
Of course. John
Lori's got
DeMeglia.
her hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw John. Is that okay?
That-
I-
That's up to you.
John DeMeglio, and then forgive me, Lori, I guess. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, hi, April. I just wanted to say what a great presentation you have. What a great project you guys are doing. I've followed this from start, from the original to now, and just a good group of people. And I just wanted to say to the committee, we need to put some kind of a plate up there for all the people that have really put in their time and donated their time to this project. There's a lot of them, and they need to be recognized. Thank you, April, for everything.
Thank you, John. Lori Jacobs.
Sorry, I was waiting to be unmuted. Thank you, Dan. Yes, April, this is really exciting for the community to have another skate park. I've talked to some of the skateboarders when I run across them, like, hey, do you know about the new skate park? Yeah, they're just very excited. You've done an amazing job. The artwork, everything, it's absolutely terrific. And as far as, you know, the pot shop, okay, is anybody going to do anything about the liquor store that's even closer there? Because alcohol is a lot more dangerous than smoking marijuana ever is. And nobody's talking about, you know, oh, well, look, they can go buy beer and alcohol at the liquor store right there. You know, I care about the youth. I've been a youth advocate for many, many years. And I'm telling you, alcohol is more dangerous. And it doesn't matter anyway. If the business has followed all of the laws in getting their permits, okay, there's nothing we can do. And I understand Chuck's concern and his understanding that pot that are going to be so high, they're going to be causing problems. But I'd be honestly a lot more concerned with them drinking and doing that. Studies will show, medical studies show that alcohol will impair somebody a lot more than marijuana, but I guess it depends on the strain of it. So it's not a concern for me. I think they're going to have security, I believe, April, at the skate park. But my God, we don't want to drug test these youth. Isn't it bad enough we're searching for weapons at the schools? What message is that saying to the kids, that we don't trust anybody? I certainly hope we don't get to a point where we're frisking or find the need to frisk and drug test the youth. So that's my 2 cents. Good job, April.
Thank you, Lori. April, I'd like to say something too, but you want to respond?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to respond really quickly. Valid concern, absolutely. You know, I don't like generalizing, like all kids do this, but this is why we need people like us. Me and the guys, we're all sober. I've never even smoked in my life, you know? So it's like, we have to be that good influence for the next generation, because if there isn't recreational facilities like this, you know, for the kids to look up to, not all kids want to do football. So we do want to set that good example for youth, and it's a valid concern, and that's why we're doing this for the community. So thank you for recognizing it, everybody.
Thank you, April. I just want to say that for decades, the 17 years I've been on the board, a high priority for the community has been recreational facilities for kids. This is one that has grown organically and from the community itself. Seems like a remarkable bunch of folks have worked long and hard on it. And my imagination maybe, but I believe that the pride of ownership and the responsibility that's felt for this park will sort of help along some of these potential issues. And I hope that's the case. Thank you. Very good. April, thanks so much. And I don't see any other hands, so we thank you and look forward. Oh, did you actually give a date? Do you have a date that you have in mind, or it's just about to happen, or
Oh,
this
for the
summer
reopening?
for opening?
Oh, yeah. So quick thing, we have to schedule a city inspection. So we're waiting on them. We've called 3 times to schedule the inspection. So from the date we pass, 6 weeks out from there, we'll do an opening with Joe and everyone who's helped. And, you know, so there is no date. We have to wait on the reopening.
Of course, of
We're
course.
down
So
there every day, making sure it's clean, making sure no one is being a dummy, you know, so we're regulating it and still rocking. So.
Well, maybe you'll communicate with John or one of the Johns about when that inspection happens, and we can start the clock, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys will be one of the first to know. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, April. Thanks, everybody, for comments. Appreciate it.
Thanks, April.
And we'll see you at the park. We move ahead. Thank you. I'm not sure we have a letter here that we can put up on the screen. Do we, John? For Gaffey Street?
Yes, hang on.
Or if you can put the map up, even that would be helpful.
Do you want to see the building first, or do you want the map?
Oh, this is Gaffey Street. Gaffey Street.
Okay.
The tank farm.
Oh, okay.
It's that map you said you couldn't. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's page 2. So,
Okay, let me hang on. Hang on. I thought I opened all 3 of them, so just.
yes.
Yeah, all 3 should have opened.
Well, that's
Hang on.
fine.
No, let's just relax.
I'll just narrate while you're setting that up. This is a bit of an update, most of which people, will you forgive me? My dog has something in his mouth that he shouldn't. Come on, let me have. There you go, John, thank you. Be right back. Come here, I need that. Oh. Thank you. Sorry. That's embarrassing. The Defense Fuel Supply Point tank farm on Gaffey Street is in a lull right now, but the Navy is proceeding with its plans to lease out the property. There are 2 parts to this, as most of you know. One is our beloved underground tank farm on Gaffey Street. The other is the fuel terminal on Terminal Island, which is in the city of Long Beach. The Navy has determined that they're ready to go ahead with leasing the Long Beach side. And they have determined that there's no need for extensive environmental review there because it'll be used for the same purpose as it always has been. What's changed is that the Navy has determined that it no longer needs the Long Beach facility for refueling Navy ships. So it will be just frankly, a straight commercial lease to someone who won't have to worry about fueling destroyers and aircraft carriers. That leaves the Gaffey Street side, which is different. The Gaffey Street part is called the main terminal. And the cancellation of naval fueling requirements means that both facilities would allow for a wider range of uses to occur at the main terminal under a potential lease, which would require further environmental analysis. And our reason for even talking about this tonight is that as we move forward, there apparently will be more environmental review for the Gaffey Street side. Our goal, I have felt all along, our principal goal is to, whatever is done with that property, not turn it into another tank farm above ground. This was discussed the other night at the Joint Planning and Land Use Committee meeting. And I mistakenly put that Planning and Land Use is taking the lead on this. They're not. It's still in our bailiwick. But the question was asked yet again, it was asked so many times when this first started, what about the underground tanks? Can they be reused? And I will say definitively, no, they cannot be reused. They're full of oxygenated concrete, and they're never going anywhere. If they did make a determination for some unseemly reason to rip them out, the concrete structures around them would endanger several critically endangered species of fauna. And we in no way want to see that happen. So the bottom line is Gaffey Street will remain in its current condition at least for a year, but we're going to keep an eye on it. And we are in touch with the Public Information Office in Seal Beach. The point of this letter, which Pat Nave pointed out the other night, was the Navy is so interested in the value of its real estate now and doing the right thing from an economic standpoint, that this has been kicked upstairs from a kind of a reserve program sort of question to a main Navy flag deal. So this letter is signed by the commanding officer at the Naval Weapons Station. So it's on their radar big time down there. But for the moment, we don't see any immediate activity with respect to the Gaffey Street terminal. That's what I have on that. And
You need the other pages?
no, not for this. Actually, now we're moving on to the Miraflores. Yeah. Would you be able to put up the floor plan, John, or the? Oh boy, here we go. This is the next agenda item, which is to discuss this proposed self-storage unit to be built on Miraflores Street at the corner of Cabrillo Avenue. And it's the Cabrillo Avenue that's a short 1 block dead end that ends up at the lower gate to Leland Park. This currently is a couple of old buildings that have been around the block a lot, and they will be removed. And this 2-story self-storage facility will be installed. I I do appreciate the classic pickup truck in this rendering. This will be a 2-story facility, and John, if you can show the plan view, it'll give folks an idea of where it is. Oh, okay. Well, guess we can enlarge it with our fingers. Right about in the middle of that picture, you see where North Cabrillo meets Miraflores. So on that lower right southeast corner, those are the existing buildings that will be removed, and the new facility, which will be a bit of an L shape, will run from Miraflores all the way to the back of the property, almost to the back of the property. And it will actually dogleg a little bit to the right there. So it's kind of an L-shaped building. It will have setbacks and planting along the street. You see the narrow piece of property next to it, which shows some truck trailers there. That's a separate property that they tried to buy to incorporate into this facility. But the owners, it's just too easy for the owners to collect rent on that little narrow piece of property. So that is not part of it.
Because he was eating normal ice cream. So you're gonna see they're eating ice cream.
So that is where it's going to be. It's near our beloved new alley that was cut through along Cabrillo over to Channel Street. And it's pretty much right behind the animal shelter. So there is some thought that the new building will buffer some of the barking at night. I don't know if that's true or not. Probably won't hurt the situation. But there, by the way, at the bottom, you see the kind of terraced hillside going up to Leland Park. It's actually a helpful aerial view. It shows you a little bit of the neighborhood. So since it's not in our council area, this is really informational. But that side of the street is central. So it will be in their bailiwick. So that's all for that item. The next item, neighborhood alleys. We've had several stakeholder requests for information about how to clean up, repair, repave, close, open alleys. It's, as I believe Brother Epperhart, who's in our audience tonight, has said in the past, it's not easy. It doesn't happen very often. And actual repaving of alleys, no matter how crappy they are, no matter how rutted and awful they are, is the absolute lowest priority for street services. It's not unheard of to change an alley, but it's pretty rare. John and I have talked with some folks in the neighborhood about the situation in particular alleys, and frankly, the biggest problem for them is they're filthy. They're out of sight, out of mind. They're junked up. The one we visited the other day, in addition to the usual furniture tossed about, there were gigantic chunks of concrete. They were set just far enough out of the route of travel that I guess you'd have to try to run into it if you were driving through, but completely should not be there. That type of thing should be unacceptable to people living in these areas. But here's an important point that we need to remember as neighborhood council folks. some of the things that people request from us or want to know about or complain about really depends on their working together as a group to make things happen. When people want to have speed humps in their neighborhood, it can be done. You have to get into a lottery and you have to win the lottery. But the only real requirement for it is your neighbors need to agree to it. And everybody needs to sign a letter saying, yeah, a certain number of the neighbors have to agree that a speed hump is a good thing. That is probably the exact definition of getting work done on an alley. You need to talk to your neighbors. You need to see how important it is to them and where the need really lies. We can go, as a neighborhood council, we can go to bat with the city department. We can write letters, we can request help, but it's kind of up to the neighbors to make something happen. And I don't want to pass it off of them or hold the city blameless, but people need to work together to improve some of these things. Another thing to consider, just as it is with sidewalks and trees, is be careful what you wish for. You may thoroughly dislike a buckled sidewalk and they're terrible. But if it gets fixed or repaired or replaced at the cost of tearing out a huge 50, 60-year-old shade tree that offers a cool spot on your street on a summer day, you need to think about it. Similarly, if alleys are repaved, first thing it does is turn them into a speedway, because people don't want to go through it 30 miles an hour when their car is being shaken apart by potholes. But if you're on a new surface, an alley, well, good, we can go faster now. There's that. Also, there's the idea that if a street is repaved, it naturally raises the level of the surface somewhat, and ruts and swales and angles would be corrected in the process of repaving it. And that can raise the level of the pavement near your garage apron, near your garage door apron. You might get unintended water. So, for instance, so the whole issue, some of the issues we deal with on the Issues Committee involve things that people really should get involved together about. And we want to do our best to help promote that idea to people. And it's something we want to look at. What's the best way we can accommodate a neighborhood that really needs work done? And certainly if there's an emergency, if there's a sinkhole or a blind corner where somebody could literally get run into, we want to know about that. But as far as general maintenance of alleys, it really takes a village, we think, to make things happen in a manner that is the most satisfactory for the most people. John and I will continue to drive the back roads, San Pedro, looking for things that really do need to be worked on, things that are dangerous, and things that we can go to the city about and really expect some action on it. By the way, I went onto the Streets LA website. It's the updated website for the Department of Street Services. And it's new, it's fresh, it's graphically pleasing. And they actually have all sorts of maps of the streets in Los Angeles. There are, I believe, 6,500 miles of streets in Los Angeles, either plus 800 miles in alleys, or the 6,500 includes 800 miles of alleys. That's a lot of pavement to keep track of and to keep going. They have, we all remember the discussion of the 100-year schedule for repaving of streets. I don't know if that really is the exact calendar date anymore, but it takes a long time to get stuff redone. But if you look on that site, there are frequently asked questions. Among among which are things like, well, somebody's street just got paved 2 years ago. Why are they doing it again? We've all seen that over here in our neck of the woods. Or why are certain streets not included in the schedule to repave streets? And there are some very simple answers and some very complex answers. But I would recommend that you, if this is of concern to you, that you look at Streets LA and click on whatever it is you're looking for, and you'll find some interesting information. Comments, questions? Well, my friends, thank you. You've made it very pleasant, and unless anyone has any other comments, questions, our next meeting will be on July the 26th. Please stay safe over the Independence Day weekend coming up. And let's, I guess we can't hope that it'll be any quieter than years past, but as usual, the city fathers and mothers are making noise as if we're really going to clamp down this time. Well, let's see. But have a pleasant holiday weekend coming up. And unless there's, as we used to say in Scouts, unless there's any other information for the good of the troop, I will say thank you all. See you
Well,
next month.
We'll see you next month.
And keep your pets safe too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pets. Here.
Night,
Thanks.
Chuck.
Good
John,
night, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, John and John, the two Johns. Thanks a lot, guys. And
Thanks, Vic.
it'll be fun to see that skate park when it opens up. That'll be a nice thing. But we will need to help them be careful about how it's used. Thanks, everybody.
night.
Good night.
Thank you.